Hey y'all, it's Tim Miller from the Bulwark. Donald Trump had a pretty empty rally in Pennsylvania tonight where he may have made a blunder. It was very reminiscent of a gaffe that Kari Lake made during the midterm that came back to haunt her. And it will be interesting to see if this follows Trump. Before we get to it, though, let's just focus on the empty part. Here's a video from inside the arena. As you can see there, a lot of empty chairs, a lot of empty seats. Trump has this thing that's coming, and we're going to be monitoring these rallies for you, but he's got one in Coachella, California, where I've spent a lot of time. I've enjoyed myself in Coachella, and I think that, I don't know, I think the activities that I was engaging in are probably going to be quite different than what is happening at the MAGA Trump rally. But he's going to be out there. He's going to be at Madison Square Garden, apparently. He's going to be in Colorado on Friday. We got a big interview related to that coming. None of those are swing states. New York, Colorado, California. All those states are going to vote for Kamala Harris. And so, like, some people have been asking me, why is he doing that? Like, shouldn't he be in the swing states? And the answer is, let's put that up on the screen one more time, the empty seats. The empty seats. The people in the swing states are a little tired of the shtick, all right? And so he needs to go to these kind of like red areas of blue states or like deep red states where people haven't seen him so that he can get the crowd size that he needs to, make up for, whatever it was that Barack Obama was talking about. So, sad crowd. We're stuck there. But I want to get to the clip that jumped out at me. Let's watch Donald Trump talking about Mitt Romney.
I mean, I think stupid Mitt Romney was at like 4% or something. How about him? How do you like having him as a partner? Mitt Romney, are we glad we're getting him the hell out of here?
Calls him an idiot. He does that. At the rallies, he calls two hosts of The View an idiot, the host of Call Her Daddy an idiot. Maybe he felt like he needed to call one man an idiot, so it wasn't so obvious how sexist he was being. But the interesting thing here is that last line. He says, get him the hell out of here. Get him the hell out of here. Get Romney the hell out of the party. And I think that that's interesting because, we've been agitating for Romney to officially endorse Kamala over here. He sort of did this sort of weird winky thing where he's like, you all know who I was voting for at an event in Utah the other day. And so I wonder if this is like one more little nudge. The Trump's telling you, get out of the party, get out. We're happy we got rid of you. I think that also sends a message to Mitt Romney voters, like people that don't really like Trump, that did like Romney, that liked the Republican Party of Mitt Romney, that were sad that Romney didn't beat Obama. That might not be a majority of the country, of course, but there are lots of people that feel that way. There are Mormons that feel that way. There's a lot of kind of more in your high income Wall Street Journal finance Republican types. Maybe they can hear that message too. That Trump's telling them to get the hell out. That's not a path to victory. And one way that we know that is not a path to victory is, as I referenced earlier, what happened to Carrie Lake. For those that don't remember, I want to play for you Carrie Lake in 2022.
We don't have any McCain Republicans in here, do we? All right, if you get the hell out.
This video, she actually said it during the primary. We don't have any McCain Republicans in here, do we? All right, if you are, get the hell out. She said it during the Republican primary. But it didn't come out. It didn't go viral until about this time, maybe a little later. But in the last month of the election. And the video really hurt her. It really hurt her because there were a lot of McCain Republicans in the state. Again, not a majority, not enough to win a Republican primary, but enough to make the difference in a general election. There were a lot of people that weren't sure about Carrie Lake, thought she was a little crazy, considered themselves more center-right, traditional, old-school kind of Republicans, even more bipartisan, independent-minded Republicans, as McCain was, mavericks. And Carrie Lake's message to them was clear. Get the hell out. It's a total echo of what Trump said today. Get him the hell out. It's the same line. And there was a significant, a decisive amount of Republicans in Arizona that took Carrie Lake at her request. They got the hell out. They voted for Katie Hobbs, or they didn't vote. And if you look at what happens in the results, Carrie Lake loses this very narrow race. And in the biggest county in the state, Maricopa County, my buddy Tom Galvin is on the Board of Supervisors or City Council. I forget what y'all call it in Arizona. And the treasurer, Michelle Yee, and they won their races, Republicans, who are McCain Republicans, I guess would be the right way to put it. They won their races. Carrie lost because, again, there might not be a majority within the party, but there is a decisive, little slice of the electorate in these key states. And so if you're listening out there, Mitt Romney voters, listen to what Trump said. I want to talk about one particular lie. And it's about Hurricane Helene, because there are a ton of, again, you only have so much time in the day. All this feed would be us debunking Donald Trump's lies. If that's what we wanted to do, maybe there should be a Trump debunk Trump YouTube. But this one stands out to me, for a reason I think you guys will get when we watch it. But let's watch Trump on Hurricane Helene.
So she didn't send anything or anyone at all. Days passed, no help as men, women, and children drowned. North Carolina has 8 military bases, great bases. Fort Bragg, remember Fort Bragg? They changed the name. We won 2 wars. 2 world wars, actually, to be specific, from Fort Bragg. But they changed the name to, I'm not even going to say it. Let's just call it Fort Bragg. I think, what do you think? Has nothing to do with Pennsylvania, but the people of North Carolina would like to leave it as Fort Bragg. Can we do that? Yes? I think so.
So a couple things here. For starters, just the fundamental fact that, the fundamental fact that it's not Kamala that is sending anyone or anything. Anyway, she's the vice president, not the president. So that's for starters. This is just like a weird word game to try to blame Kamala for anything they don't like about Joe Biden. So that's for starters. Number 2, even if Kamala were the one that was sending help and was in charge, they did send stuff. FEMA did send relief. FEMA did send lots of manpower, lots of resources, lots of finances to as part of a rescue operation, as part of a recovery operation, is ongoing. The governor of the state has coordinated. The Republican governors of surrounding states. We've heard from Brian Kemp in Georgia, Glenn Youngkin about how the Democratic administration has been responsive. Today, Joe Biden was in Florida with Ron DeSantis. And so that takes us to the third part of this. He's doing these lies about the hurricane response right as this other horrific hurricane is about to hit Florida. And it's just so gross and so disgusting that, if even Tiny D, if even Meatball Ron can just suck it up and be a public servant for one day, meet Joe Biden, have a press conference, prepare his state, tell people they need to evacuate, tell people how they can acquire state and federal resources if they need them. That's like the fundamentals of being in public service. And Trump just can't do that. Even as the specter of this massive tragedy is about to unfold in Florida, he still can't even deign to pretend to care about that. Instead, he has to tell lies about how Kamala isn't sending resources to the ravaged areas. It's really dark stuff. And just to layer on top of that, his little aside about Fort Bragg, it's you're at the section of the speech where there's real human suffering happening. We need a real government response to alleviate the suffering and to provide for the citizens what they deserve. In the midst of all that, very serious work, the real work of government, Trump talks about it by just making up a ridiculous lie, and in the middle of the lie starts going off on an aside about what really matters, I guess, is renaming one of the military bases after a Confederate general. Y'all, that's where our priorities are at. That's where his mind is at. In the middle of this Helene recovery, with Milton bearing down on Florida, he's riffing about how we should change the name back. we're going back to the Confederacy. That's his big solution. It's kind of like, get this guy out of the way and let the grown-ups do the work. If even Ron DeSantis can be a grown-up, what does that say about this guy? What it says is that he's telling voters, he's telling you out there, if you're a Mitt Romney Republican, get the hell out. If you're a Republican that just wants government to provide basic services, maybe you don't like everything about Kamala's agenda, but you just want government to be responsive to when there are emergencies and not advance ridiculous lies and conspiracies. You should get the hell out. The campaign isn't for you either, because Trump is not up for that. So there is our reaction to another dire, dark rally in Pennsylvania. The only good news I can leave you with is doesn't look like he was knocking it out of the park there as far as the audience is concerned. So small crowd, dark message. We'll be back tomorrow. Make sure to subscribe to the Bulwark YouTube page. We'll be giving you all the info that you need as the last month of this campaign unfolds. We'll see you soon.